welcome to We're Just Here. I'm here with my friend Candace, who has an incredible project. I'm Deborah Henson-Conant. I'm a composer and I'm a performer. And Candace has an amazing project that is called Your Life is a Symphony. I wanted to share it with everybody on all my channels because it's such a powerful project and it's a masterclass that she's creating. And the cool thing is that even before you take the class, you get to fill out this wonderful survey. And my experience is that just filling out the survey makes a big shift. So, Candace, tell me, what is this project? What made you decide to do it? And and by the way, everybody, if you're watching this, the survey should be in the post, so you can link right to it and fill it out. And it's the thing that I think is so, sorry, I'm not letting you talk, Candace.
I love it. No, go ahead. This is great.
It's totally anonymous. So you can do it totally anonymously, or you can put your email in because you're just looking for what people have to say, right?
Yeah.
So tell me all about it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to see what people are dealing with. First of all, I wanted to just say thank you, Deborah, for having me on. You look beautiful today. I who you are for me. I need to share with your listeners and my listeners, like, who you are for me is creativity and joy and alacrity for life and for people. That's who you are for me. You and your harp in the back. You are just amazing. And I'm overjoyed and I'm very grateful that you take your time to have me on your channel and share me with your friends. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So about my project, so this is something that is cooking from the little version of Candace. Since I was little, I seen women compare themselves, women say things, even myself. I remember looking in the mirror and not liking what I saw. I did not like my hair. I did not like my eyes, how big they are. Um, I it was a lot of just imperfections that I just highlighted. And when I saw other people, and when I see other people and they're less quirkiness, I would compare myself. And as I grew older, I also saw, like, oh, I'm not alone in this. I saw women comparing, not just themselves, but they were comparing children. They would compare their children to another person's child. They would compare not just their children, but they would also compare their spouses. They would, I wish my husband was like your husband, or I
Wow.
wish that my son was like your son. And those are things that it takes away from the beauty of who we are. So
Right.
in my project, I have the hopes. I have the very high hopes. I have the aspiration that I want to put in women to fall in love with themselves. And if they fall in love with themselves, they can fall in love with other women. So if I love Candace and I adore Candace and I get the juiciness of Candace, I can absolutely fall in love with Deborah. And if I can fall in love with Deborah, I can absolutely fall in love with another woman. And we can be sisterhood versus a comparison thing where we're like, um, looking over there
Right. I see
and
what you're saying.
comparing
Yeah.
versus having an admiration for what's over there.
Right. I love that. And I'm hearing that you say that, if you can fall in love with yourself and then share that with me, I can fall in love with myself. And I really love how you're saying that you're taking the competition out of it. And I
Taking it
want
out.
Yep, and I want to kind of put this in context for people who know me as a harpist and know me as having a harp academy and a harp community, that I want to first say how Candace and I know each other because we are together in we're taking the 2-year program together in how to build teams and teamwork. So if anyone has been part of my Mercedes project that I just completed, getting 100 hands to play this new piece.
Congratulations.
Right. That was my project that's similar to Candace's project for Your Life as a Symphony. We're each creating projects that open us out into the world and that create transformation for other people. And that's the goal of each of these. And I love that yours, the other thing that made me think, when you said this thing about competition, I was just thinking about within my harp academy, musicians are taught from the beginning to be in competition to each other with each other. You know, they from the very beginning. And so part of what's really powerful is to actually turn that around.
Mm.
And instead of comparing and despairing, actually look for what somebody has as a gift for you.
Mm.
And you often have to be taught, and that's one of the things that we do in the academy, is we look at other people's work and we're like, what's the gift in that for you? What is that? What possibility? That person just did something. What possibility does that open up for you?
Wow. Yes.
So
Yes.
I want to know, so there's a survey that's part of this. That's the beginning of this. Oh, and we can actually see, if you guys chat with us, we can see those.
Do we have
So
friends up here?
we do have friends. So it's fun because we can pull it on. So okay,
Yeah.
try it in a
Oh, not yet.
Okay, somebody's talking about so we'll take that off, but that's very cool because that is
Yeah.
about something else that happened today. So I
Okay.
love that. But now, Candace, I have to find our little thing again. Your life is a symphony. Okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah, so talk about it. I noticed that in the survey, it starts, and this is a survey for women, and it starts off very simple, and then it gets deeper and deeper into what we're actually dealing with in our lives.
Yeah, Deborah. Like, so what I'm coming up with, I love music. I love music. I sing when I'm sad. I sing when I'm happy. I sing when I'm excited. I put the
Right,
music on.
right.
I start to dancing. It just makes everything better. I hear like Megan Trainor. I feel better when I'm dancing. You know, like, it's. But I also have the idea that we are also part of an orchestra. So the reason why I named it Your Life is a Symphony is because everybody is a part of an orchestra. We need everybody on deck, right? I might be a violin, you might be a harp. And I won't, if I take my violin and I start comparing it to your harp, two completely different masterpieces,
Mm-hmm.
it takes our music and mutes it. It takes our volume and turns it down. It takes our what we could have had in some creation and turns it down.
Right.
So that's in the survey. I want it by itself to be a contribution to people, because sometimes we don't know the things that we are numb to. When you're numb to a thing, you don't know what you don't know about what you're numb about. You don't know what you don't know that you've been, that you've put off. So there's very short questions, but it's just to have like thought provoking, so that they'll think like, oh wow, I didn't know that I didn't know that I actually had something there. Or like one of the questions are, what is your biggest struggle as a woman? Some
Mm.
questions, like, to really think about it. Excuse me. I had questions like, what is your biggest struggle as a wife? Now,
Mm.
sometimes it's like, okay, we can go out and we can, like, turn this world upside down, but it's like we come home to the lack of love, or feel like you're
Oh,
islands apart from each other.
right.
And it's something that it should be spoken to. It should be spoken to because it's all a part of music. And it's like, okay, if I'm winning in my parenting, but I'm not winning in my marriage, or if I'm
Mm.
winning as
Mm.
I'm winning as a mother, but I'm not winning as a single person, it's like, okay, some of the music is off.
So let
Some
me
of it.
let me here, let me sort of restate this. This is really interesting. So a minute ago you were saying something like, if you're I'm a violin and you're a harp, or I'm a violin and you're a viola, or whatever it is, and
Hmm.
I'm like comparing myself to you,
Hmm.
and I was thinking, well, you're completely missing the opportunity to play together,
Yes.
and you're completely missing the opportunity of what one voice might bring to another, what
Yes.
voice might show of another, the resonance that would come between them.
Yes. Yes. It takes
And
away. It takes
right,
away, and it puts a wedge, and it
right,
stops something that could have been a masterpiece.
that's right.
It
And we
it, it
often don't
really.
know how to actually deal with that. And then
Right.
so it stops something that could have been a wonderful like duet.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I heard you say about the numbing, it makes me think that, and for anyone who plays the harp, and I know this is going out to my community, who many of whom play the harp,
Hmm.
what I'm hearing, Candace, is like if you had an instrument and half the strings were damped, or you didn't
Hmm.
have half of the strings, that's what you're talking to in people, in
Yeah.
is that we are often coming into the world as first of all, as an instrument that is missing some of our strings,
Yeah.
or they're there and they're cut off.
Yes.
And
We've been
then
numb
we're
to them.
comparing ourselves to others, so we can't actually share our
Yeah.
resonance with them.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what you're out in the world to bring. What I see is that by the survey, you're bringing that into to be seen, because
Yeah.
most of us don't even see that's happening.
hmm
And then from there, what are you going to do?
So thank you, Deborah. Like after I get the responses, I'm gonna look at. So I have a method. So it's gonna be the GRACE method, and that
Mhm.
is something that in my conversations I see that it's very much missing. It's missing for men, also for children, but right now my project is on women. And if I cannot give myself grace, I cannot give it to you. And that's the thing that I want to get. I want to get the responses for. Where are people really like really hard on themselves? Where are people like taking a sledgehammer and cracking at their harp, cracking at their
Well, I can
violin?
tell you that every harpist, the minute they hear a note that they think is not good, they're beating themselves up.
It's over,
So,
right? It's like,
right.
oh, I'm the worst, and it's just not. It's not true.
Right.
But it's what happens in here. This is the
Mhm.
most dangerous playground that we can play in the
Right.
mind.
Right.
It really is. So after I get the responses, I'm gonna do this is the research with the responses. I'm gonna be setting up a master class, and the master class is a free master class, and it'll be distributed to women.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like these things are universal. It can
Mm-hmm.
happen in men, it can happen in children, it can happen, you know, fathers, and those are things that I'm very much going to speak to, because that was also something that I grew up with seeing
Yeah, I was going to
with
ask
this project.
what brought you to this? What brought you to want to do this project?
Um, just seeing the wedges between friends,
And what
seeing
in your
the
what in your life? Like I have a feeling that you had some kind of experience or transformation or something that you want for others. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just think I have that feeling that's there.
no, that's perfect, because that's what it is. It's from my heartache. It's from my own heartache. Me comparing my beauty, my power, my strength to another woman. You can never compare two masterpieces. But it didn't stop there. I would grow up like like I was sharing with another friend, another person in our program,
Mm-hmm.
that children do not say, "Oh, I want my dress to look like that dress." They say, "No, I love your dress.
Mm-hmm.
I love your doll.
Mm-hmm.
I love your hair. You look pretty today."
Mm-hmm.
Children don't come into this world starting to compare themselves to
Mm-hmm.
people. Life kicks in. So I want to unthaw that part that said, "Oh, you need to compare yourself to her.
And
You need to look this way so that you can fit in with them."
and have you had an experience of like that? Did you kind of see yourself getting frozen, and then did you experience yourself unthawing?
Oh, absolutely. I for years I've been like a chameleon. For
Uh-huh.
years, I will transform myself into uh whatever I thought would be the thing to make them
Mm.
love me. I would transform the way I spoke. I would transform the way I would like the things that I like. I completely dismiss them so that I can like what somebody else likes. I transform myself into whatever someone else finds
What
appropriate.
would that look like? I think this is going to be really relevant to a lot of musicians, harpists especially. Certainly for me, when I first started the harp, I was like, well, I want to be a good classical harpist because that's going to make me be a real musician. And it
Mm,
took a long time for me to then find my way out of that and find my own voice. And
mhm,
even now, there are things I'm afraid to express because I'm afraid it's going to show some part of me that I don't want to show. So
right.
when you said you actually changed the way you spoke, like what was that like, or what did that actually look like or sound like?
Oh, Deborah, like I could turn into a Spanish woman in like 3.2 seconds. Okay.
You just did. You wait a
Around
second.
around my intellectual friends,
Wow.
you would have thought that I was like a top executive in AT&T, and I literally I would transform Candace. I diminish Candace.
And so
I diminish myself.
what would happen in your head just before you did that? Like what was going on?
it's something subconscious. Like it's something that I had to discover because it would just happen. Like I wouldn't have to think about it. Like if I liked like if there was a woman that I wanted to be friends with,
Uh-huh.
if there was a woman that I wanted to hang out with,
Uh-huh.
be connected to, I would transform myself for her. I would transform myself for her. If there was a guy that I liked,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
As a young
Mhm.
girl, like if there was a guy that I liked,
Mhm.
I would transform myself to fit into whatever he would like.
So I'm just curious if anybody else who's watching this, and I know some of you are on different channels, if any of this is resonating with you, that if you've ever experienced yourself doing that. And I have for sure, even if it's just like, pretending that I liked something that
Yes.
I don't
Oh,
like.
I've been friends with that for a long time. Yes. No.
Uh-huh.
It's so exhausting.
So what
It's
what
exhausting.
happened? What happened to make you be like, hey, wait a second. No, not doing that.
It's a lot. It's a lot of. I mean, out of the course that we're in a very senior leadership course, and there was a lot of epiphanies there.
Right.
There's a lot of spiritual work, and just it's kind of a thing that we're looking at, and it's just like, wait, no, I actually am beautiful.
Oh,
I
so
actually am enough.
okay. So at some point, it's like you realized this is not authentic.
This is not authentic. I'm tired of doing this. I actually don't even like her. I
Uh-huh.
actually didn't even. We didn't fit well together.
Hmm. You
I
mean
don't even.
you and that
I
other
don't like race
person?
cars. I don't. I don't even like baseball.
I see. Wow. Oh my God. So here's what I'm hearing. And tell me if I got this. That
Mhm.
the hunger to be liked
Yeah,
was
it
the
loves
thing
to get
pulling,
deeper.
liked and loved,
Hmm.
rather than to be doing something that's really moving you,
Yeah,
that's being
inspire
you.
me.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so that it
So,
sounds like that's what this survey is about, to help you see that. Because I
hmm,
think what you're saying, or what I'm hearing you say now, is that I didn't even know I was doing that. So
yes,
it's like I'm cutting off all these parts of myself and I
yes,
don't even know I'm doing it. I think
yes,
I'm doing the thing I should be doing.
yeah. I was like a first grade, like top class chameleon. There's like in the chameleon class, I got all A's. All A's, Deborah.
Okay. All right.
All A's. So if they take the time, and it's less than 5 minutes that it takes to actually fill
Mm,
out the survey, but if they sit and really answer the questions, the way that I worded it is a contribution to them. I wanted it to be a contribution to the person that is taking the survey, so that I
well,
can really get to the like the root of something, and they can say like, "Wow, I didn't know that I actually still wanted this." Or
well, I
even reading a question and seeing, wow, I didn't know that I still cared about that.
right.
Mhm.
What I'm hearing is that you saw that you couldn't see this, and that these questions were some of the questions that started opening up
Yes.
that actually being able to see that. And now you're
Yes.
sharing those with other people,
Mhm.
and it's up to them. They can do it totally privately, anonymously. You'll
Yes.
get the answers, but you won't
Mhm.
know, who sent it.
Right.
Or if they want to be in the master class, they can give you their email address.
At the bottom, yes. So
Mm.
there's 11. So there's 11 questions,
Hmm.
but at the bottom there's that 12th
Hmm.
question that
Hmm.
says if you want to be notified about the upcoming masterclass when it's
Uh-huh.
complete, then they can put their email and they'll get that notification.
That's great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, is there anything else? This has been amazing to get to
Yeah.
talk to you about this. I've been wondering about this, for months, and this, I really love the survey, and I mean, I love questions as a way to open things up rather than do this. Da, 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 da. It's like just like they're like magic boxes.
Hmm.
Questions are.
Hmm.
And I also wanted to bring Candace on here, like if you're filling this out, as an opportunity to ask questions too,
Hmm.
if you have any questions. And I know we only have a couple more minutes, but let me think. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I would like to ask you, or that you just want to tell people who are filling this out.
Um, when they fill it out, just um, like have a quiet space. 'Cause sometimes it's it's so easy to like just, write a quick answer without like really looking at, well, how do I actually, like, what is something that I'm dealing with in this? Like, if you're a parent, like, really look, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's sometimes we don't, there's blind spots in every person. So there's some ways that maybe, wow, I didn't know that I was numb in that. I didn't know that I was numb in um, spending time with my child. I didn't know that my child, I got on my child's nerves. I have, my oldest is a 13-year-old. My son is 13 years old, and I had the habit, and I still do have the habit of calling him my baby. He's like,
Oh,
Mom,
watch
don't
out.
do that. Don't do that around my friends.
Right. Yeah.
So it seems like little, but to them it can literally move
Right.
mountains.
Well, I
So
was thinking, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, just to take the time and like really look, really, really look, because it's going to be a contribution to them and other people.
Oh, because it opens you up.
Hmm.
I know, since I know that so many of the people on my social media are musicians, it
Hmm.
occurred to me while you were talking, as you said, when go to a quiet space. And I just wanted to give people a thing to
Mm.
play to kind of open them up. And I love being able to like be in meditation while I'm playing my instrument. So I
Mhm.
put my harp in C,
Mm.
but what I'm going to play is
Yeah.
I'm I'm going to play an extended D. I'm going to play on D, and I'm just going to add, for people who have a harp, every other string all the way up to the next D. So you're
Mm.
actually playing every single note of a scale, but in a different order.
Oh.
And it just makes this really, really rich. It's also like a jazz chord. So for people who play the harp, just play a D. I'm going to play a D in the bass, and then every other string. So that'll be F, A, C, E, G, B, and D.
Mm.
And you can just do that. And you can just go up and down.
Right.
And as you're thinking, and it just kind of opens you up. And then after you fill out the survey,
Mm.
whatever what it opens up for you, I love to take that to an instrument and open that up. And
Play with it.
you can
Oh.
also spin melodies off of it no matter how far you go up. So you do that beautiful chord that's every other string starting on D, and then you add melodies onto that, and it just gives you space. And what I love about it, why I thought of this, Candace, while you were talking,
Mm.
is I thought this is the experience of expanding from your fundamental self, which is D,
Small and bigger.
what it is, and just keep going up and opening up and opening up, and just feeling like it's opening more and
Yeah.
more and more. Because
Yeah.
that's what you're doing in the
Yeah.
writing of the survey, and then you can do it with the music as well.
Yes. Your
And this
life
is
is
why
a
it's so fun to have
symphony.
these conversations together,
Yeah.
from different realms of the world, because then it might open things up. So
Your life
yes,
is a
beautiful.
symphony. Like,
Hi. Oh, this is great. Oh,
oh.
this is beautiful. Hi, says
Hi.
Adelaide. And Connie says, I love
Hi,
anything you do. It's so
Connie. Hi,
wonderful.
Adelaide.
So Connie, I really, you definitely check out this survey, and it's got these very wonderful questions, and then go to your instrument and
Mm.
see what happens when you start opening up in your instrument
Mm.
as well. So Candace, thank you so much. It's been so fun to have you here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
and
I
I
have fun.
yeah,
I love hearing you play. I
oh
love
good.
hearing you play.
Well,
Oh,
I loved it just came to me, that particular thing, while you were
yeah.
talking,
We're
of the
creatives,
expansion, and
and when it
getting
comes
to
to us
take
like that.
expansion into different places in your life.
Hmm.
And people who don't play an instrument, I'm just thinking that you can do it with your body as well, to just
Yeah.
open out, open and open and open.
I feel like every human being is an instrument.
Yeah.
Like they are just
Mhm.
walking, breathing, moving, living instruments. So
And
whether you're doing it
Connie,
with the harp or waving your hands, you are an instrument.
right. And
So
Connie
I
is
love
saying
that.
that she loves your voice. So she's
Oh,
actually,
thank you,
that
Connie.
she's loving the instrument that you are.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Connie.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Candace. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And please share that survey with your friends and enjoy it. And I look forward to bringing Candace back sometime in the future as well.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you to everybody listening and spending your time. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to be here.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Okay. Bye.